Welcome. This video introduces the CPPLab website that we will be using to practice our programming in this class. So, first time you go to the CPPLab website, you should already have an account set up for you. You can find information about that on our discussion board. And probably the first thing you want to do is actually use the Reset My Password link. You click that, you get to type in your email address. It has to be the one that matches your account that I set up, and that will send you a link to allow you to set up a new password. If you ever forget your password, use the Reset My Password link to get back into the website. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And when you log in, you'll be presented with a list of assignments. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm looking at some previous ones. I'm going to work on this assignment called Conditionals 1. You can see the original due date for the assignment. You can see how many of the problems, what percent of the problems I've got completed so far, and my current score on that assignment. So, this is the assignment. It consists of these three problems. I can see I've completed 2 of the 3 problems. I still have conditional score to go. I'm going to go into one of the ones that I've already completed and just demonstrate how the system works there. So I click on the problem, and I've already done some work in here. So let me just hit reset, kind of get back to fresh starting on this problem. You can see it asks me to read in a single integer from CN. If it is 7, output lucky. If it is not 7, output nothing. So my goal is to write a program that does that job, and the software system is going to test that code that I write. Once I successfully accomplish the task, I get credit for doing the problem. So I'm just going to hit submit right off the bat. And if you're not quite sure what the instructions for a problem are telling you what to do, a good first move can just be submit it as is, and let's see. So here are the results from running my program 2 separate times. Each row represents one run of the program. Each row shows me whether I passed or failed that test. Then the input that was given to my program, the output my program gave, and the output that was expected. So I passed the second test because my output matched the expected. I failed the first test because my output was not correct. Now the input, it's just like someone is running this program and typing that input into my program. So to successfully do this task, I'm going to have to get that input. So I can just start in here replacing that code with my own code. So I need to get a number, so let's go ahead and declare a variable, and then we will read into that variable. Now to just see if that worked correctly, I'm going to turn around and just print out the number that I read in. Hit submit, and I can see that now I'm successfully outputting what the number is. And I can output anything I want, and it will show up in the output area. But to get it correct, of course, I have to match the expected output. Since we don't have a debugger to use on the website, this is the best thing that we have for debugging, is just outputting information, making sure that it's what we think it is as we're building up our program. If you ever get really stuck, you can always take the code from here, copy and paste it into a project in Qt Creator, and test the code out there. But hopefully most of the time, just printing things along the way will help you debug your code. Now to get this one correct, I'm obviously going to need some kind of if statement. So if the input is exactly equal to 7, that's the only time I want to print something out. So let's go ahead and print out lucky in that case. Otherwise, I'm not going to print anything. I successfully passed both of the tests. All right, bar is turned completely green. That's a sign that I've accomplished this problem, and I can go back and start working on the next one. Note that the output does have to match exactly. All right, something like lowercase l lucky is not going to be a match. Now, I still have credit for this problem. If I go back to the list of assignments and look at conditionals 1, I still have 2 of the 3 accomplished. Once you get something right, if you then mess up your code, it's not going to take that away from you. But moral of the story is, to get this correct, I have to have exactly lucky. I can't have period. I can't have other stuff. It's got to match exactly the expected output. If you ever have made a bunch of changes and think that you're on the wrong track and you want to backtrack, you can use the View Previous Attempt button to go back in time and look at previous submissions you made. And then maybe I want to start working from here again. View Next Attempt will just work you back through to more recent things that you've submitted. So you can always go back and look at old versions. If you realized you've horribly messed things up, you can always reset the problem. And the goal for each of these assignments is to try and get 100% complete, get a score of 100%. Really, this is the practice that is going to get you ready to write the larger programs that are the weekly assignments. So please be working on these. A due date does not mean that's when you're trying to crank this out. Work on these as you're working through material, hopefully well in advance of the due date. Make sure you leave yourself time to walk away from the problems and ask questions if you get stuck, or just walk away and think about them. And this is the practice that will make sure you're ready to do your assignments.